Now this is the second video of the chapter Force and Pressure. Yesterday I told you about the force. Now today I am going to tell you about the pressure. We are going to study about the pressure exerted on solids or due to solids, pressure due to liquids, and atmospheric pressure. So we are going to deal about three types of pressure. Now what is pressure? Suppose you have a ball of mud. You make a small ball of mud, and if you are going to apply force on that mud, what will happen? The mud will squeeze or its shape will be changed. Why its shape has changed? Because the force exerted by you on the ball of mud applies pressure on it, and due to this pressure which is exerted on the ball due to the force exerted by you causes the shape of the ball to be changed. So pressure is produced when a force acts on an object. If you are applying any force on the object, it is going to exert pressure on that object. In most cases, an object exerts force on another object by making contact with it, as I told you about interaction, or by touching it. Now we are going to study in the pressure how the effect of the force applied by one object on another object depends on area of contact between the two. In interaction, I told you that there should be a contact. Now the force which is exerted depends on the area of contact. For this, a small example is given, a figure is given in your book. Now you see this in figure 3.5a. There is a block of wood, and on it a person is applying force with its thumb. So he is applying force on this with the thumb. See the direction of the force which is applied. Now in the B figure, you see now the same person is applying force not directly on the wood, but he has placed one drawing pin on it. This is the drawing pin which has been placed, and now he is applying force on the head of the drawing pin. Now in this case, in the first figure, what is the area of contact? The thumb with the wood. In the second figure, the area of contact with the wood is not the thumb now, it is the tip of the pin. Tip of the pin is in contact with the wood. Now in the first figure, you see the thumb is obviously has more area than the tip of the pin. So in the first figure, the area is more. In the second figure, the area is less of contact. So the greater area is going to exert small pressure on the wood, and the small area is going to exert large pressure on the wood. Now from this figure, you must have come to know the relation between the pressure and area. Larger the area of contact, smaller will be the pressure. Smaller the area of contact, larger will be the pressure. Or in other words, pressure and area are inverse of each other. They are opposite of each other. And pressure depends on the force also. If you are going to apply more force, then there will be more pressure. If you are going to apply less force, there will be less pressure. So pressure and force are directly proportional to each other. Now this is all what is written in your book, what I have explained you just now. See the last lines. The force of thumb produces small pressure when it acts on a large area of wood, but the same force of thumb produces much greater pressure when it acts on a very small area of wood through the tip of the pen, drawing pen. So now the effect of force depends on the area of the object on which it acts. So now you can see the definition of the pressure. Pressure is the force acting, instead of on a in the book, make it per. Pressure is the force acting per unit area of the object. This is the definition of pressure which I have underlined. So the formula for the calculating pressure is equal to force upon area. So this formula gives the relation between pressure, force and area. As I told you, pressure and force are directly proportional to each other. Pressure and area are inversely proportional to each other, which means more the force, more the pressure, and more the area, less the pressure. Now we are going to study about the SI unit of pressure. You know the SI unit of force is Newton, which is capital N, and the SI unit of area is square meter, that is meter square. You calculate the area in the unit meter. SI unit is meter square. Therefore the SI unit of measuring pressure is Newton per meter square. So what is the SI unit of measuring pressure, or SI unit of pressure is Newton per meter square. It is important for you to learn it, which we also call it as Pascal. And see how you write Pascal in the abbreviated form. Capital P, small a. Be careful about it. And when you write the complete word Pascal, you will write with small p. So 1 Pascal is equal to 1 Newton per meter square. Now why it is named Pascal? It is named on the pressure is named on the name of a scientist, Blaise Pascal, who gave the pressure exerted by the liquid, which we are going to study later on. So pressure is a very small unit of pressure. So the bigger unit is 1 kilopascal, which is written as small k, capital P, small a. And 1 kilopascal is 1000 pascals. So 1 kPa is 1000 pascals. Now we are going to solve one numerical, which is given as the example. The numerical says a force of 100 Newton is applied to an object of area 2 meter square. Calculate the pressure. Force is 100 Newton. Area is 2 meter square. First write the formula of pressure. As I told you to, it's a must to write the formula used. Pressure is equal to force upon area. Then substitute the value of force 100 Newton and the value of area 2 meter square. 2 cancels with 100 and it gives you 50 Newton per meter square. Or you can also write 50 Pascal, because I told you Pascal is the other SI unit of Newton per meter square. So now, as I told you in this, that if you have larger the area of surface, smaller will be the pressure produced. And if you have more force, if you apply more force, more is the pressure produced. So the pressure depends on 2 factors. It depends on the force applied, and it also depends on the area on which it is acting. and I have told you the relation also. So at the end, again I am making you see this, and you can underline it. When a force acts over a large area of an object, it produces large area, so it produces small pressure. But if the same force acts over a small area, as we have seen in the case of the pin, drawing pin, force exerted on the block due to the drawing pin, it produces large pressure. Now with this pressure, you will see everyday observation which deals with the pressure. So explanation of some everyday observations on the basis of pressure. First is example which you have given, in which we find the role of pressure in our daily life, is your school bag. Now you see that your school bag has got white strap, which is made of thick cloth, and that cloth we call it as canvas. So your bags are made of canvas. So you have a school bag which has got white strap because you hang your bag on your shoulders, and when you hang your bag on your shoulders, you put the straps on your shoulders. So why it has got white straps? Because wider will be the strap, more will be the area, and the force which is exerted by the bag on your shoulders will then become less. The pressure which is going to be exerted on your shoulders due to the force exerted by your bag will become less, because I told you larger the area, lesser the pressure. So you are going to feel less pressure on your shoulder. So that is why, and you can, these applications, daily life applications, can be asked as reason. The question can be like this: why a school bag has white straps? So you have to give the reason which I have told you, and you can read it from the book also. Now you see this figure. In this figure, you must have also traveled through the trains also. See this coolie. Coolie is also called a porter. Coolie is called a porter. Now this coolie is carrying so much of load on his head. So this load is going to put pressure on his head. So before putting the load, you must have noticed he puts a piece of cloth. What do the porters do? They place a thick round piece of cloth on their head when they have to carry heavy loads, because this round piece of cloth, by placing this round piece of cloth, the porters increase the area of contact of the load with their head. So when it increases the area, this round piece of cloth increases the area, he is going to feel lesser pressure on his head. So the pressure on his head is reduced. So then it becomes easy for him to carry the heavy load. Now you see that the knife always have a very thin edge. Sharp knife has a very thin edge to its blade. Now if the knife will be blunt, you will know we will not be able to cut the vegetables and fruits, because if the knife is going to have a small, if its edge will be very thin, in that case the area of contact of its blade with the vegetable will become less, and thin edge is going to give you the lesser area. Due to its very thin edge, the force of our hand falls over a very small area. So the small area of the knife enables a person to put more pressure on the vegetable, and if more pressure is exerted on the vegetables can be cut easily. A sharp knife cuts well because of high pressure, because lesser the area of the knife, more will be the pressure. Now you have some examples you can read on your own also. What happens when a man stands on a cushion, about the tip of the swing needle. These are all written in simple English. You can read from your books. This example also you can read from your book regarding your cushion. Then you have one more, the tractors. You must have seen the tractors. The tractors have got broad tires, because so if they'll have broad tires, their area of contact with the mud will increase, and when the area of contact increase, the pressure will decrease and the tires will then not sink into the ground. So the tractors have broad tires so that there is less pressure on the ground and the tires do not, and less pressure on the ground and the tires do not sink. Then a wide steel belt is provided over the wheels of the army tanks. You must have seen the army tanks. Army tanks have got the tires, and around it there is a wide steel belt, because the tanks are very heavy, so the force exerted by them will be very large, or the pressure will be very large. So if you are going to put a belt around a wheel, it is going to exert less pressure as the area of contact has been increased. So then it is not going to sink into the ground. Have you ever seen the railway tracks? Now on the railway tracks, you see that there are wooden sleepers kept below the railway line, or you can say the concrete sleepers. They are kept below the railway line. Again, you know that the trains are very heavy, and if they are very heavy, they are going to exert more pressure. And if wooden sleepers are there, that is going to increase the area of contact between the train and the ground, so that between you can say the railway lines, so that there is less pressure of the train on the ground and railway line may not sink into the ground. Have you ever seen the skis, which shows you the games on the snow? Have you ever seen the footwear, what they wear? Skis have got very long and flat. They have got very long and flat. The footwear which they wear, that are very long and thin, if you have seen a ski. So the snow shoes, which we call it as the snow shoes, they have large flat soles, so that there is less pressure on the soft snow, because the area will be large, and stop the wearer from sinking into it. Now you see that the girls are very fond of wearing the pencil heels. So, and they find it difficult to walk. But the boys wearing the flat shoes or the sport shoes, they can walk easily. Why? Because the flat shoes are going to have more area and pencil heels are going to have lesser area. So flat shoe has greater area in contact with the soft sand, due to which there will be less pressure on the soft sand. So the flat shoes then do not sink in soft sand, and it is easy to walk on it. On the other hand, a small heel, or you can say a pencil heel, they have got small area in contact with the soft sand, and so it exerts when the area of contact is small, it exerts a greater pressure on the soft sand. Due to this greater pressure, small heels tends to sink deep into the soft sand, making it difficult for the wearer to walk on the soft sand. Now in the next video, I'm going to discuss about the pressure exerted by the liquids. And your homework is to find the answer of these questions, test your understanding, which I'm going to ask afterwards.